A river is a channel of flowing water that usually starts at a permanent or long-lasting source. The source area is called a headwater. A headwater can be at the tip of a mountain, the edge of a lake, or from an underground water source. From mountains. From a mountain, a river flows from the high source of water and snow near the peak. The snowmelt will make it so that the snow or ice will form into water. The water will need a clear path and it will form a channel. These channels will flow strongly as the water needs to keep flowing from the pressure above. Once the base of the mountain is reached, these large, powerful rivers, which have cleared a path, will split off. There sometimes still remains a large river which will continue to flow into an endpoint, or sometimes it splits off into streams. Streams are smaller rivers which are not as permanent, and they tend to flow in different places than rivers which tend to stay in valleys. From the edge of a lake. Lakes can be formed in many different ways, but almost always form in basins. A basin is a large bowl-shaped cutout of the earth. When glaciers melt or rain increases, water will flow and fill the basins. From the edge of these, if there is an overflow of water or the water continues to come, then streams and rivers will form at the edges of these lakes. Another way these lakes can be formed is if a volcano collapses during eruption, then the crater can get flooded. The final way a lake can form is if a river gets clogged and trapped. The water will no longer be flowing and it will start to fan out. A river ends at a delta. The deltas can be located at wetlands, other rivers which eventually end up at an endpoint, such as an ocean, wetland, or seas and oceans. Rivers have a vital role in early civilizations throughout the planet. Large empires of the past, such as the Egyptians and the Mesopotamians from thousands of years ago, found their homes near large rivers. Mesopotamia comes from a Greek word meaning between rivers. The Indus Valley in Pakistan was a river valley. The first civilizations in China settled near the Yellow River. Why did so many early civilizations settle along rivers, and what was the river's role in keeping them alive? Rivers provide excellent sources of clean, pure water. Near the desert area of Egypt, it was vital to have a reliable source of water near wherever you settled. Dehydration could be common, and the rivers had plenty to share. Rivers also provide great farming opportunities. These rivers made the land more fertile so crops could be grown more easily and efficiently. In the past, they were great places to live. Rivers are great for transport. You could use ships instead of wheelbarrows to transport more goods and materials to more cities. You could also expand and create new cities, plus explore more land more easily. And finally, fishing. When there are rivers, there's almost always fish. If you look at a map today, you can see how many rivers there really are. There are rivers everywhere, and many cities are located right next to them. The large cities that surround us mostly started at rivers. Our history has been built on these rivers, which have been so vital for the Earth's evolution. Here you can see a list of some cities today that are located alongside rivers. Now we have learned about how history has been built on rivers and how these channels form. But what are rivers like today? Rivers are used commonly for irrigation, water transportation, and electricity. Irrigation is the process of collecting water through pipelines to then use for watering crops and fields. The water will get collected at the source, such as a river or creek, and then get filtered for debris and toxic chemicals, then transported throughout the region. Rivers are also used as clean water sources for tap water, filtered water, and sparkling water. Tap water is the kind that comes from your sink's faucet. It is not always high quality and is also known as municipal water or city water because it's the water that just comes through the piping underground. Filtered water is the same kind of water except filtered multiple times and more high quality. Bottled water is considered filtered water. It has a more natural taste and is cleaner than tap water. There are many other kinds of water sourced from rivers, such as mineral water, purified water, and flavored water, as well as many others. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have learned something new about rivers. Here's a quick review of the vocabulary featured in this video. A headwater is the source area of a river. A delta is where the river flows into a sea or ocean. A ford is a shallow place in the river that can be crossed. An upper course is where the river is still small and young. A confluence is where two rivers merge or meet. A tributary is where a smaller river flows into a larger river. A stream is a smaller river that is not as permanent that usually avoids valleys. A meander is a bend in the river. The mouth of a river is the entrance. A waterfall is where water flows off a cliff. The middle course is where the river gets larger. A current is an underwater source of quickly flowing water that continues the flow of the river. A channel is the area in which a river flows through. Downstream is a river flowing towards the mouth. Upstream is a river flowing towards the headwater or source. An oxbow lake is a lake made from a meander that was cut off, such as the river no longer flowing there. Thank you for watching.